Happy Saturday, kings and queens. It's Dana Stewart Coates, Killer Queen Antique Jewelry. I'll come to you twice this weekend. This Saturday, it'll be 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that's 10 p.m. here in England. I know it's kind of late for some of my European clients, but we won't be on terribly long because all I'm going to show are the charms and coins and some charm bracelets. If you're new to the channel, I sell mostly antique, but vintage and sometimes modern, even though modern to me is probably the 1970s. Actually, I do sell a few new items, but usually by request. I have, now the gate bracelets can be used as a charm bracelet as well, and I will show you how that's done. But I have some vintage, I even have some antique charm bracelets. And I can extend any of these to fit because, of course, because if they're vintage or antique, they're usually smaller, unless you've got a tiny wrist, and then you're in. We don't have to do anything. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the gate. And I'm sure that I have more here somewhere. We're going to do a quick overview of the charms. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, I think there's 9 of the either canister, which is glass, and they're different amounts of paper British money. And there's 1 Mad Money. Those are always popular. There are Egyptian charms. There are what I like to call hobbies and vices. There's gambling charms. There are articulated charms. That's an articulated baby grand piano. Then there's a small baby grand piano. There are loads of vintage keys. This one is very rare. I have never seen these little the dice. And these are, I believe, I should take them out. They're either bone or they're Bakelite. I would say those are definitely vintage on the antique side. Also a rare bird cage with a little enameled songbird inside. They're very large charms on offer this week. I love this huge teapot. Then there are crystal teapots and little sterling teapots and this adorable cup of tea. There are, let's see, that is one of the fairies from, let's see, Sleeping Beauty, yes. Then there are articulated, love this one because it's got the old woman in a shoe, and then you open it up and her children are inside. Of course, I've got nails, so we'll open that up with a tool later. There's a vintage typewriter. There are large articulated bells. These are they're quite rare, and I happen to have 2 of them this week. They're articulated dancing ballerinas. They are a bit different though. There's an articulated sawmill. There are Victorian charms. There are royal charms. There's an articulated ball. There are policemen, firemen. That's a Victorian heart. These are mostly, that's the Statue of Liberty that comes with a New York charm as well. That is Trafalgar Square in London. There's Big Ben. There's Westminster Abbey. There's a huge Westminster Abbey there. quite a few churches, religious nature charms, including Niger Buddhist. There are cherubs. As far as animal goes, there's one check glass cat. Probably 10 different dogs, poodles and Airedales and Pomeranians. There's a big like retriever type dog, swans, things of nature, roses and bees, loads of vehicles, as like carriages. That's the royal carriage. That's also a royal carriage. There's a penny farthing bicycle, trains. Let's see, that's an elephant and a crab and butterflies. There are several styles of antique telephones, including this gorgeous gem set French telephone. And then the old Bakelite type phones, there's a couple of those. I love anything to do with time, so of course there's a little minute minder. Let's see, what else is there? I think, yeah, that's either a vintage, at least a vintage, possibly antique cash register. These are always popular, not only the fobs, but the gem set. There's quite a few fobs and travel charms. There are some new coins. One of the most recent coins I've added is from 1966. It has Elizabeth on the front. This is from the Guernsey Island, one of the islands here in England. And the other side is William the Conqueror, 1066. Now the coin, I think, is, regular coin grade. I don't believe it's silver, maybe silver, some silver content, as coins were by that time period. But it is an unusual shape, and that's also a handmade mounting on either a vintage or antique chain as well. I'll give you a little sneak peek of what's going to go on tomorrow. Of course, it'll start earlier, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and that makes it 7 p.m. here in England. And I'm going to give you a little heads up of just a little sneak peek. Now, of course, tomorrow morning I will post a video of exactly what's going to be there, but we'll do a little quickie today. Of course, you can see it's a beautiful day here in England. The Victorian bracelets. There's one Victorian Albertina. There is a new Art Nouveau bangle. I think these are pretty self-explanatory, but of course, if you want me to explain any of them, I can. The Victorian bangles are always popular. This is new, and it was actually constructed by me. Now, this is dated for, I think, I'll check the date on it, but I think 1900. So, which would be sort of the end of the Victorian era. It was a silver nurse's buckle, and I used a silver Victorian bracelet, and also put a large draw bolt clasp. And I do have one extra panel, and we could add extra jump rings, but of course this bracelet fits me, so it's going to fit at the moment between a 6.5 and a 7-inch wrist most comfortably. Let's see, let me take these out of the way so you can actually see what's behind here. And actually, I should take them off of the bracelet holder because there are some new Scottish bracelets. I am going to offer the 15 karat Victorian. I'd hoped it was Georgian, but it is Victorian. But it is 15 karat gold. This fantastic sea pearl necklace. I will offer the operculum on the channel, but it is 18 karat gold. It is very, very rare. It will most likely be going to Fellows, which is a very exclusive auction here in England. It's an exceptional antique. But I will offer it here first, of course. Now, I promised you an Albertina conversion necklace, and I think the one that I have, this pannier this week, is just the most fantastic one I've ever personally seen. And it's really a nod to being British, as the charm is an adorable Victorian teapot. This necklace is also quite rare. It is Victorian. It's also French. It is, I'm sure you've seen a book chain here on the channel. Bring it in just a little bit more so you can see it. It is French with a large, what is called a sailor's draw. And it's the longest one I've ever seen. Now, you know, a lot of times you will see shorter examples of them. But really, a lot of them started longer. And then when the fashion went shorter, they would make a bracelet out of them and have the necklace. This is actually the first one I've ever seen of its length and intact. So that's a little bit of a sneak peek there, and I will let you know. Let me take these off because I'm going to show you the new Scottish bracelets. This is going to be tricky. I don't want to take it apart because, of course, we'll have the sale later. Oh, see? They're going to start flying off everywhere. We're going to be really, 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 really careful with this. Okay. We only lost one man. That's okay. Oops, sorry for the light there and the glare. I'll get my hands in shot quick enough. Now, you've seen this huge, fabulous mid-1800s banded agate bracelet. Let's come in a little bit there. Let's show you the new ones, shall we? Now, one thing I don't know that everyone knows why the banded agates became so popular. And of course, that stick pin is going to go with that bracelet. And the reason these bracelets became so incredibly popular is because Queen Victoria, in around 1840, made her first trip to Scotland, where she fell in love with the Scottish people and the Scottish jewelry. And when she started to wear it, of course, everyone went mad for it, which was fantastic for the Scottish silver makers because then they could come up with these phenomenal pieces. Now, the piece that I'm about to show you can, just by the construction, can be dated to around that time period. Now, I've offered these before, but I think this is probably one of my favorites, only because it has so many different examples of agate. The banded as well, and then the banded orange carnelian. It is just beautiful, and the lock, of course, is incredible. I mean, those pieces are. Now, that one, I do have another barrel that is very similar and we could actually add to it if you needed a longer bracelet. But it's just about under, just under a 7 right now. Now, I also was able to source a fantastic, my favorite, moss agate and sterling Art Deco bracelet. And I don't know if you were able to see when the light comes through those agates just how phenomenal it is. I should have shown this brooch, but there is a fantastic banded orange agate and crystal Victorian brooch as well. There is also an Art Deco, because that's when these were popular, and this is a tiny bit longer. Agate sampler bracelet. Of course, charm style. You know me, I'm easy. And then I showed this piece last week, but that's an incredible Victorian brooch as well. Oh, I know what I want to show you. Because it's Saturday, I'm not going to show this until tomorrow. But I have sourced a very rare French charm bracelet. And boy, does it ever look like... I've never went for the Alex and Ani's. Never. They were kind of too overdone, a little too common. I just didn't get into them. I'm not saying, if you love them, you know, more power to you. But this is Victorian, guys. It is French. There is a, let me turn it over that way. They like to spin. That is the farmer's wife. There is a farmer, a cockerel, a dairy cow, a little dog, of course a cat, a mouse, a bag of grain, and a sawmill. Now, if it looks gold, it's because it is sterling and softly gilt. And yeah, probably here's 140, at least 140 years later, the gilt is still there. And of course it's totally adjustable, so it does fit me. It is a little struggle to get it over my big paw, but I have small wrists, so this bracelet is actually going to fit somebody who's either, you know, from a very tiny size closed, or nearly like I'll measure it up, but like I think between a 7.5 and an 8 fully extended, and you would just squeeze it. What else is new? I want to give you a little sneak peeks because, you know, we've only got a day to the sale, or to the Sunday sale. There is an Art Deco. You all love butterfly rings. There's a new one. It's a decent size. Of course, it can go up, but not down. The Georgian ring, 1811. The cornflower sapphires and diamonds rose cut is still available, and I have added a brilliant blue Ceylon sapphire with beautifully fine diamonds and 18 karat gold Victorian. So very similar, but you know, Georgian Victorian. There is a very rare, very desirable blue moonstone set in rose gold, and the top of it is sterling. As the moonstones were set in sterling, they thought there was something to it, that, you know, it harnessed the power of the moon set in sterling rather than white gold, because at this point they would have had white gold, but that one is quite rare to find a moonstone of that quality in gold. Let me think, is there anything else new I forgot to show you? There's new Mexican bracelets, Taxco. Now, I believe that is enamel. It could be, it's almost the color of sugilite. There's, of course, turquoise and malachite. But that is a gorgeous Mexican bracelet. There's also a piece of Mexican art glass. I think they called them fire opals. I call them glass opals. But that's a stunning bracelet, Mexican and sterling. I showed that piece last week. It's not Mexican. Let's see. Ooh, and I want to show you this necklace. Just a little sneak. I am going to have some sterling and stones, which I haven't shown stones in forever. Oh, this is a gorgeous 3-strand. It is obsidian with cultured pearls and that incredible pendant. It is 3-strand. It's ice cold. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous necklace. There is an Edwardian suspended turquoise necklace as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can sneak and show you. There will be a tray tomorrow. I'm going to grab a couple little examples of it. What I was able to find, these are from the 1940s and they are dead stock. It's not in modern plastic. That is cellophane. And they are sterling silver earrings that were made here in England, and how they didn't make it, you know, to sale is beyond me. I have, I think, 20 or 25 pairs. They're still sealed up in the original packaging and they're dead stock. And each pair is just cuter than another. So we'll have a look at those. Oh, I know. People have asked me about Czech crystal because I brought you rock crystal quartz. I will be bringing Czech crystal tomorrow, including some sterling clasp, my favorite, Aurora Borealis, and one shorter and a couple longer ones. Look at those briolet. Is there anything prettier? Is there anything prettier than Aurora Borealis? I love it. And like I said, there will be a ton of Czech crystal. And I know the keen eyes have spotted a pools of light. This is a pools of light. As you can see the light rolling across my hand. This is crystal. This is a crystal, lead crystal pools of light. Like the colored pools of light that I've had, these are lead crystal. I also have the rock crystal quartz ones that I will show tomorrow as well. Oh, it's on my hand. There's a new large buckle ring. Gold, of course. I have 3 or 4 gold heart lockets available as well. It'll definitely be something for everyone, and I'll do a full haul of tomorrow. What we'll see tomorrow's sale. I just wanted to come to you today and update you on what was going to happen later today. I haven't spoke to mostly any of you all week, and I miss you. So, watch for the notification. And if you want to see charms and coins, come on in. Or if you just want to come in and chat, you know, we're always open for that. Take care of yourselves, guys, and have a great and wonderful rest of your day.